Sold. Your number, sir? Thank you. Lot 665, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to The Little Things We Hear Together, where we dive deep into Broadway cast albums to figure out why some hit harder than others. My name is Alex Asp, and my guest today is Ryan Wood. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
So happy to have you.
Thank you.
You are one of my wonderful theater friends that I can go into crazy depth with, and you don't get mad at me. So this is a perfect place for us to talk on mic about what we normally talk about.
Exactly. I mean, that is basically what we normally talk about, isn't it?
It basically is, yeah.
Like, we have some other conversations, but it always goes back to
the next trip to New York or the last trip to New York.
Or London.
Or London.
Or Chicago, or whatever we're seeing at that point in time.
Wherever. Yeah. We're going to see it. So I'm very happy to have you on for this episode in particular because you have a special background that will help us with dissecting some of the album. What album are we talking about today?
The Phantom of the Opera, the London cast recording.
Yes, because there was not a recording made for Broadway.
Yeah.
So in case you were living under a rock, this is music by Andrew Lloyd Webber, lyrics by Charles Hart and Richard Stilgoe, book by Richard Stilgoe and Andrew Lloyd Webber, based on the 1910 novel by Gaston Leroux. Music director was David Caddick, orchestrations by David Cullen and Andrew Lloyd Webber. It was on the Polydor label, which is not one I'm very familiar with otherwise.
Yeah.
Andrew Lloyd Webber produced the album, and Martin Levan was the engineer. Just to get that out of the way. So what is your background with the Phantom of the Opera?
So I'm originally from the UP, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and the national tour went to the Broadway Center in St. Paul, Minnesota when I was 3 or 4 years old, and my mom took a bus trip, a 24-hour bus trip.
Wow.
I was very young, and it destroyed her basically, and she bought the 2-tape box set.
Yes.
And so I grew up listening to that. At one point, I read the book when I was in high school for something. I've seen the 1929 silent film with organ accompaniment in an old silent movie house. I saw the original tour, saw the movie. I visited the Palais Garnier, actually twice.
Fancy.
Yeah, once for a tour. I saw a dress rehearsal of a Mozart opera that's kind of of the moment of part of the actual show. I saw a tech rehearsal for contemporary ballet, which was very cool in that space. I saw the original London production. I saw Love Never Dies live.
You're one of the 10 people.
Yes, I am. I have a lot of feelings about that. I saw the Broadway production in normal times. I saw the Broadway production in the final weeks. I saw the B-52s perform at the Phantom Theater at the Venetian in Las Vegas. I recently experienced Masquerade, the immersive Phantom of the Opera experience. I've seen the opera that a lot of the music is modeled after. I've seen most of the operas that are spoofed by the 3 operas in the actual show. And throughout my personal life, my academic life, and my professional life, I have come across 4 different Christines and a Phantom, including accompanying for voice students for the former Christine.
Awesome.
So
you have quite a history with opera as a genre on its own.
I'm a big nerd.
Which is, not many people I know would have that dual love of opera and the Phantom of the Opera. So I'm interested to see how that factors into your relationship with the show as we go through the tracks. From a very high level, what is this show about?
I mean, it's about, so to me, it's site specific. Like, it is about the specific building in Paris, and it's about the Phantom that lives in the bowels of the theater, and then his student / person he's obsessed with and in love with rising, and then the love triangle between her lover, and him, and then all of the ongoings of this very busy opera house.
Yes. It's interesting because this is what most people know as the Phantom of the Opera.
Yes.
However, the 1910 book, I think I read it in middle school for some reason on my own. I wasn't even a theater person at that time. I don't know why I read it.
It's a classic.
But I did. It's, a lot of the events are the same, but the order is different. Different things are caused by other things that are both versions of the story, but not temporally together, things like that. There have been, I think, 4 films made of it.
I think so, yeah.
Including the Lon Chaney early silent film.
Iconic.
Claude Rains, and there have been several versions of it. So this was already a well-known property to the point of when the rights became available, or when it fell into public domain, in the UK at least, 2 composers started working on this story at the same time. Poor Maury Yeston. He wrote Phantom, and it was all set to go kind of looking really good, but things kind of got stalled out for some reason. And then Lloyd Webber's premiered, and he was like, oh, shit. This is too big a hit. I can't do this. So he did finish it, and it was in Texas, I think, that it premiered, and it's still done.
And the music is good.
Yeah, it's never been on Broadway, but the music is definitely leaning more into the opera style of pastiche versus Andrew Lloyd Webber doing his take on opera.
Yeah.
So they're very different experiences, but there's a lot of Phantom of the Opera out there from the last century.
Yeah.
And this show the longest running musical on Broadway in history, is finally closed, but now back off Broadway because they just can't stay away.
No, which I get.
It is a moneymaker, although it's also a very expensive show. So I'm amazed. So one of the things I have been interested in is paying attention with the cast albums to the size of the pit.
Yeah.
So originally on Broadway, there were 29 musicians in this pit.
Yeah.
And 61 on this album.
And it sounds
ridiculous.
Like it. I know it. It gives it the sound it does.
It's gorgeous, but yeah. And I'm not sure. The playbill I have from when I saw it on Broadway in 2019 has 23 musicians listed.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure at what point they scaled back a little bit to try to save some money, but
I didn't count, but I think they did during the pandemic.
No, this is before. This is 2019.
But okay,
even more.
But I mean,
even more, yeah. And I have very little memory of most of when I saw it in 2005, 20 years ago. It was my first musical, first professional musical that I ever saw.
Oh, and it's a good one for that.
So I have, this is a special show to me. I'm going to try to be as objective as I can as we go through this, but it is one that I just love for reasons that are not tied to the show itself and hard to separate that out sometimes.
Same. I mean, I grew up with it, and it's hard to, yeah.
And it was really weird later on when I started getting more into theater and realizing that I don't like most of Andrew Lloyd Webber's stuff, but I love this.
That's fair.
It's kind of weird, but here we are. But when it was on tour in 2005, there were only 14 musicians in that playbill. And I'm trying to remember, I don't remember anything specific about how they sounded, but I don't recall thinking that it sounded thin. So they must have done a good job with reorchestrating for a smaller group to tour. Yeah.
And I mean, that makes sense logistically, a lot fewer people.
I'll be curious to see how many they have on this new tour that's starting here, right? We're the first stop in Minneapolis.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, in a few weeks. So another thing with this show, I am a sucker for orchestrations in general.
Me
and
too.
This has some of the best orchestrations out there. I will always give it to Andrew Lloyd Webber that he is amazing at orchestrating.
Yeah.
And there are 3 horn parts in this score.
And they sound great.
I'm in love. If you want to get my undying devotion, have 3 or 4 horn parts in your Broadway score. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I agree.
So as we're talking about this album, like I said, we are talking about the London album because they did not make another one for Broadway.
Which is kind of amazing.
Yeah, it's interesting because normally the Lloyd Webber model is to make a concept album first.
Yeah.
And then, depending on the show, however number of albums after that.
But I mean, there were music videos with different people and everything prior to...
But still Sarah Brightman, always Sarah Brightman, because it was written for her.
Yeah.
When they were still married. And there are some lyric changes from the London version to the Broadway version, which have persisted, I believe. I was trying to do a decent amount of research to figure out what lyrics were when, and I was starting to go crazy, so I stopped going into that too much. So we'll mention things here and there, but I'm not going to try to be exhaustive in listing all the lyrical changes.
Okay, good.
But it's interesting. Some of them, when they made the 2004 movie, they kept some of the lyric changes for Broadway, and some they went back to what was in London. And most of the time, I think they chose correctly, but not always.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So one of the things that I always have issues with Andrew Lloyd Webber scores is he does not tend to have a good collaborative outcome with his lyricists. I'll put it that way.
I think that's fair.
I think that there's some degree of fear to push back against him and ask him to rewrite things, or I don't know. I'm not behind those doors. But a lot of his shows, I've realized my problem actually comes mostly from the lyrics that are just clunky, awkward, do not sit well on the melodies. And this show is, I think, his best, where they must have had a very good collaborative relationship because most of the lyrics scan very well. They just fit beautifully on the notes.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of, I think, why this has had such a lasting impact, because even people who are sticklers to that kind of thing, like you and I, can still appreciate this because it's not as cheap a money grab kind of thing as a lot of what's out there.
Yes.
What is your opinion on the movie? We won't get into it too much, but I'm curious.
I mean, I think that the movie took... I think my problem with the movie is that they lowered everything, I mean, tonally, so that the voices weren't soaring as much, because that's easier for a movie and for speakers and for the audience. But I think that kind of lost a lot of it. And then one of my biggest problems with the movie is that it wasn't in the Paris Opera House, in the Palais Garnier. It wasn't there. And nowhere is going to be as beautiful or as mysterious or as iconic as the building where it's written. So I was kind of like, oh, okay, so it's just a whatever kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. I don't really enjoy it that I'm not going to go back and watch it or listen to listen to the soundtrack.
Again, a special place. This is how I got into.
Yeah.
Well, technically, You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown is how I got into theater, because I did that in my junior year of high school. But through that, making friends with people who like theater, and they're all raving about this Phantom of the Opera movie, and I was like, oh, okay, so I went and saw it. And that's what started everything to then lead me to see it on the tour and
that's
such.
good.
So I do have a soft spot for this movie. I agree with a lot of takes on the cinematography of it being an issue.
I agree.
But the score, the soundtrack, I think is fantastic. Most of the time, it doesn't bother me that it's a little bit lower. I think a lot of what people give Gerard Butler crap for is just character choices that I think work well.
Yeah,
so
it's fine.
I do like the soundtrack for the movie. I'll give you the movie itself maybe is not the best, but the soundtrack, which is all I care about, is
The
really
score
good.
cuts my favorite part.
Yeah, it does cut some really good parts, but
I get it. Movies, it's a different medium.
yeah. Do you think the Phantom is magical?
I think it's more fun if he is. I think that it has the air of like 80s mega musical with him being magical, and I think it's better and more fun if he is. Now, in the movie, he's not. In Masquerade, he wasn't. But in the show, he is.
Yeah, it's subtle. It's hinted at here and there, but there are a few things that he really couldn't do otherwise, like making them all start singing correctly in rehearsal. Like, it's not as much in the show as you would think, but I think it is there. Some people disagree with me, but I think a few of those moments only make sense if he is some kind of power over the people.
Yeah.
But then why doesn't he use that power to make them do what he wants?
I mean, power can only go so far.
Okay, fine.
I think we're going a little too deep into it. We just have to enjoy it and let it go.
Fine, okay.
Sorry.
Well then, let's just get into the tracks, shall we?
Okay.
May I start at 20 francs? 15 then. 59 bid. 20, sir, thank you. 20. 25, thank you, madam.
We start with the prologue.
Oh,
What do you think about the prologue as the way to open this grand score with this very quiet moment?
I like it because it lets you get into it in a quiet, kind of creepy, mysterious place with the synth going in the background with the main theme and then just kind of going through before you have the explosion of the overture. So I think it sets it up in this way that it's a memory play. You know that a couple people are going to survive.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. What do you think?
This is one where it's really tough to separate out how I feel about my experience with the show versus the show itself.
Yeah.
Because for me, I'm like, yeah, absolutely. It works great. It's perfect. But if I'm thinking objectively, I'm like, I don't know if I like it or not. I think it does work.
Yeah.
Does it need that? I'm not sure.
I think it's a good tool to make the overture more effective.
Yeah.
To walk into the theater and have the...
Because everybody's paying attention then, unlike an overture normally where people are still walking in and stuff like that.
Yeah, and like everything's in dust clouds and curtains and everything's covered and looking old, and then it shows in the music.
Yeah. And we get the little monkey.
A collector's piece, indeed. Every detail exactly as she said. She often spoke of you, my friend, your velvet lining and your figurine of lead.
It is sweet. The main point of this is just foreshadowing and establishing Chekhov's chandelier.
Yes.
Because you have to have it, expected that there's going to be a disaster from the beginning.
Which just adds to it, right? It just makes the suspense better. And yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot to discuss really with this prologue because it's mostly the auctioneer talking and only a tiny bit of singing.
Yeah,
but
I mean, it scares you. It starts with the
crack of the gavel.
Yes, and I mean, it just starts with it. So it snaps and gets your attention, and then it keeps it down. It keeps it dark. It keeps it quiet.
That's a good point.
Keeps it spooky.
And then, as you said, when he is showing off the chandelier, he invites them to turn it on to demonstrate, and the blare of the overture starts, and we go right into it.
Perhaps we may frighten away the ghost of so many years ago with a little illumination. Gentlemen!
With the little bit of an explosion, and it is... I mean, this is an 80s mega musical. Like, this is the opening of Star Wars. This is the Indiana Jones theme. This is all of that, but in a musical on stage in front of you. The chandelier swinging out over the audience and the curtains coming down and revealing the glittering set. It's creepy with the big organ and then the orchestra joining with the rock beat.
Yeah, it is. I mean, this is an Andrew Lloyd Webber special.
Yes.
Where the overture is just the title song with different orchestrations. It's not an overture at all, really. It's just the one song. But I do love the orchestrations of this.
My mom used to wake me up on car rides by blaring the overture, and I would cry. So she wouldn't do it. She wouldn't do it, but it was.
I mean, I love that. But wow, that's a way to wake up.
Honestly,
Set that as your alarm on your phone.
She took me to Cats when I was 4, so she was great at immersing me in art.
Oh boy.
I appreciate it.
Yes. talk more about the Phantom of the Opera song when
Yeah.
we get to that, because that's all the overture is. But we go into Hannibal, the first of the operas within the show.
Yes, and I think it's genius.
Okay, tell me why.
Because the overture ends mid-note, and then the transformation of the theater is done. I should just talk about the score, but you end up in a rehearsal, and you're mid-cadenza from this big opera person, the woman singing the high notes, right? And holding the severed head,
Yep.
and it's iconic. Can I briefly talk about the character Carlotta?
Absolutely.
Okay, so in the 1800s, 19th century, there were these two sisters named Carlotta and Adelina Patti.
Okay.
And Carlotta wasn't as famous because she didn't perform in opera, but Adelina did. And she was such a huge icon. So imagine this is like Taylor Swift mixed with Meryl Streep, mixed with everything. And she was famous for demanding to be paid in gold at every performance. So she was the opera diva. She was so big that she was only referred to in the book of the Phantom of the Opera as the Spanish soprano because she was born in Spain, but she's mentioned by name in Anna Karenina by Tolstoy, in The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde, in The Age of Innocence by Edith Wharton. Ooh. The story of a Sherlock Holmes book goes around one of her performances, and she's mentioned in a Jules Verne book. So she was such a huge person.
Yeah, she was known.
She was known that fast forward a couple generations, and her niece was naming her daughter. She named her daughter her maiden name, which was Patti, who became Patti LuPone. Oh. So Patti LuPone has even in interviews talked about Adelina Patti sending her maid to rehearsals. So like, I love the staging of the Phantom of the Opera because you see like the seamstresses like sewing her dress while she's singing and everything, and like her just like walking away and them chasing her. And that's all kind of tracks with the stories that we hear.
I love it.
I know it's a lot, but
And the connection to Patti LuPone is even better.
It is.
Oh, okay. Well done. So this is an abridged version of this scene.
Very abridged.
And not very gracefully so on this album.
I agree.
It's really weird. You just kind of truncate things and cut off the reverb sometimes. And
yeah,
we got a bigger version of the scene in the movie. And then in the 2011 Royal Albert Hall concert recording.
And the Canadian cast recording.
Yeah, so you get more of the extra music on those other recordings than we do on this one. Mm-hmm. And I don't understand that. The first disc of this is only 54 minutes. There was time left because typically you can go up to 80 minutes.
Yeah.
Or sometimes, depending on technology, 70. But they had a lot of time left. Why did they need to cut it down this much?
I don't know. So one thing that I was thinking about, because I was going back and I was reading the original reviews from the 80s when this was premiering in London and New York, and some of them kind of rip him apart for the opera scenes because they're not as clever as, Bernstein or someone else when he's doing his version of making fun of opera.
Yeah.
So I think that could be part of it. Maybe not. I don't know. I shouldn't even guess. That's just, there are a lot of factors.
I really enjoy the music
they're my favorite
for
parts.
Hannibal.
Yeah.
I think the ballet that they're, it's just background music to them talking and going through things, but I think it's lovely.
It is. It's
and
beautiful.
I definitely missed it when I listened to this version of the album.
Same.
To not have it. It definitely just has a power that makes you understand how it lasted 35 years.
Yeah, and it sets you up for the story.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of Carlotta as a diva.
Yeah.
So I guess my question I was about to ask kind of gets more into the next song. So let's just get into Think of Me, which is the next track. So in the plot of the show, we have learned that the opera house has been sold to two new owners. Mm-hmm. So they are introducing themselves to the cast, the crew, everybody at the opera house. Mm-hmm. And Carlotta, our diva, is pissed. And so they're trying to placate her by, don't you have a wonderful song you could sing? Would you please sing it for us? And so she starts with Think of Me. And
it's ridiculous and it's wonderful.
So what is your take on, do you prefer a Carlotta to be good or to be bad?
I want Carlotta to be good, but I want her to be over the top. I mean, This is the most famous person in the world, and she is milking it, and I want her to milk. I mean, she comes on stage minutes earlier with a severed head. Like, I want it to be a lot. What do you think?
It's interesting either way that you try to play it, because what we're going to find out is that the Phantom wants to oust Carlotta and have Christine be the star.
Yes.
So in this song, we get the first bit of Carlotta singing before a drop falls.
Yeah.
Remember me once in a while. Please promise me you'll try. When you find that once again you long to take the Phantom of the Opera.
With a high key
Yeah.
and really milking the high notes.
Yeah.
I love that.
And then she's like, oh, all these accidents keep happening.
Well, until you stop these things happening, this thing does not happen.
Which is a great line. That's my favorite line.
Minnie Driver
probably.
is the best at that for me.
Yeah,
I
that's fair.
Oh,
Yeah.
amazing.
I love that.
And so then they're like, oh, Christine can step in and sing it. And then Christine sings, and everybody loves her more than Carlotta.
But it's also way lower.
And that's what they're going to go with now is Christine's the new star because they like her more than Carlotta.
Mm-hmm.
So on the one hand, if Carlotta is really good, it doesn't make sense that they would so easily go over to Christine.
Well, Carlotta walks out.
Well, yeah, but then everybody's like, oh, who needs her? We've got Christine now. And I think if you have a bad Carlotta, that makes more sense.
Maybe.
But it also doesn't make sense for Carlotta to have been the star for 5 years if she's not amazing.
She would need
kind
to be
of-
amazing. I want her to be amazing.
I think I prefer it when she's amazing, but like you said, over the top and making choices that are kind of like eye roll.
Yeah.
So this is, in general, a better editing down of the track for time compared to the first.
Yeah.
But we do miss a lot of the humor of Carlotta
Yeah.
that you get on the other albums
Yeah.
and just how ridiculous she is.
And just, I wanted to hit the high notes. I wanted
Yeah.
to milk the high notes. She's an opera diva.
Yeah. Sarah Brightman, for me, does not give enough to overcome Rosemary Ash as Carlotta.
I agree.
And I'm like, I'd rather have Carlotta back.
Yeah.
And maybe go ask her to come back instead of just going with this other girl.
Yeah, I agree.
Recall those days, look back on all those times, think of the things we'll never do. There will never be a day when I won't think of
But the scene is beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
And it's genius staging.
And this is where we get introduced to Raoul, played by Steve Barton. So, of the cast, the 3 leads are the same on Broadway as they were in the West End. Sarah Brightman, Steve Barton, and Michael Crawford. Everybody else is different on Broadway compared to who we hear on this album. But Steve Barton is one of the 3 that came over. And he is in the audience, and it turns out that he and Christine knew each other as children and were sweethearts, however deep that goes. So he's very excited to see her again.
What a change, you're really not a bit the cockish girl that once you were. She may not remember me, but I remember.
we never said.
So as the song is finishing, which is beautiful, this is one that there's a lot of different lyrics that they changed for Broadway that I think are worse.
They are.
And I'm glad they went back to these lyrics for the movie.
But I think that what's interesting about this as well is that this song is a transition. It starts with her looking for a half second at the book, very scared and like barely singing, into the transition of her performing on the stage. The whole set changes, her dress changes, everything changes.
Yeah.
It goes from her being the scared girl into the star, the ingenue role.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
It is. And I love at the end, they have it so that the curtain comes down and she turns around and all of a sudden we are backstage.
Yep.
And there's another audience.
Yeah. The prompter box pops up.
Yeah, I love that.
I do
It's
too.
so great.
I do too.
So then now we're in the world of backstage because she has had her beautiful premiere and now everybody loves her and is so excited. And as she's kind of hanging out backstage, we get a little conversation with Meg Giry, the daughter of the ballet mistress, Madame Giry. And she is played by Janet Devenish in this album. And they start with Angel of Music to find out who is this teacher that you've been learning from, because you're amazing. Actually, before that, though, we have our first introduction to Michael Crawford as he sings Bravi.
Off stage.
Yeah, why is he saying Bravi? He's not talking about anybody except for Christine.
Yeah, I don't think it's correct, but it sounds fun.
Oh, well. Then after he sings Bravi, we get Meg and Christine singing to each other.
Where in the world have you been hiding? Really, you were perfect. I only wish I knew your secret. Who is this new tutor?
Meg, she's really underwhelming for me. Like, There's no way that Janet Devenish would be the Meg in Love Never Dies. It would never happen.
I mean, she's a ballerina who can kind of sing, as opposed to a lot of the people in this are singers who can
Yeah, that's true.
maybe kind of dance, or singers who can act.
And we've mentioned it twice now. For anybody who's not familiar, Love Never Dies is the sequel to The Phantom of the Opera that did not do very well, but I actually think has some lovely music in it.
Yep.
If you don't know it, go check it out for sure. So throughout the Angel of Music, we find out that Christine, her father told her that when he was dead, he would send the Angel of Music, and she has been visited by the angel.
Because she was supposed to be, her father was supposed to be a famous Swedish violinist.
Yes.
Father once spoke of an angel. I used to dream he'd appear. Now as I see, I can sense him, and I know he's here.
So this is her connection, and it's not clear exactly to what extent she thinks that this is her father, like the spirit of her father that's been teaching her, or just somebody sent by her father, or what she thinks the Phantom actually is. Unclear, but it's a very pretty song.
It is.
Allows the Christine to show off with some beautiful melodies and gorgeous orchestrations to go along with them. And Meg does a good job at harmonizing.
She does.
She just, there's no character there whatsoever.
I mean, she's there to support Christine.
Yeah, and to your point, she's there to be a dancer. So
Yeah.
I'm fine. It's fine.
Okay, we'll go with that.
I'll allow it.
Music, guide and guardian, grant to me your glory. Slave of music, hide no longer, secret and strange angel.
I think that this is part of where it starts to get creepy for me. Was that I remember going to see this, and my mom took me on a road trip. We went to see Phantom my freshman year of high school, and I got back, and one of my teachers was like, "Oh, just the Phantom is so heartbreaking." And I was like, "Oh, I wasn't rooting for him." And this is seen as the start of where I was like,
Yeah, because he's kind of watching them as they're going along, and Christine gets back to her dressing room, and we have the next track, Little Lottie / The Mirror, Angel of Music.
Mm-hmm.
So turns out Raoul comes to visit her in her dressing room because they knew each other.
Yes.
And he comes in and they're singing kind of inside jokes about things that they liked as kids, I guess.
Yeah.
Little Lottie thought, am I fonder of dolls or of goblins of shoes? There's picnics in the attic, or of chocolates.
Kind of random.
But it's also spooky.
Yeah, it's
With
very
dark stories
minor
from the
and-
north.
Yes, with very very spooky music, spooky words. And he's like, "Oh, you're beautiful. Let's go out to dinner." She's like, "No, I can't." He's like, "Yeah, sure you can."
She's like, no, he's strict with me.
So then he leaves to go get the carriage, and the Phantom makes himself appear behind her mirror.
Which is
Drama.
such an iconic moment.
Okay, is this her first time actually meeting the Phantom, do you think?
I think so.
Because before she's been getting lessons from a disembodied voice, I guess?
Which, I mean, who doesn't? It was just like Zoom.
Insolent boy, this flame of passion, basking in your glory. Ignorant fool, this brave young suitor, sharing in my triumph.
So he's basically saying, how dare he come and try to take some of your glory? I'm like, he's not really. He's just coming to say hi. But the Phantom's getting very jealous. And so he shows up, opens the secret door behind the mirror, and takes Christine away.
And it's a great musical moment. The transition, because it's
dun, 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 underneath.
Yeah, it just keeps building, but it keeps going with the score, and it just transitions into the next song.
Yeah.
As they walk through the mirror, which I think is great.
Yeah, and I love at the end, Raoul comes back, the door's locked, but he hears the Phantom's voice. So he's got the...
Whose is that voice? Who is that in there?
Which, it's not, I think it...
He's kind of yells it in the London
kind of,
version.
Yeah, it's not sung after this version here. And I miss it because there are a lot of times that they'll use melodies from other things in the show in a way that is very artfully done, unlike a lot of times with Andrew Lloyd Webber, where I'm like, that just feels like you were lazy. This feels much more intentional. So I love that he used the Angel of Music
I do too. It's
melody
perfect.
for that, but in a hurried, more frenzied nature, which is cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, as you said, the seamless transition of the beat behind the creepy, I am your angel of music. Yeah. And then we get organ and then drum set and electric bass and electric guitars, and suddenly we're into a rock orchestra.
Come to me, angel of music.
the only song on the album that's orchestrated this way.
Yeah, I mean, the overture is a little bit, but yeah.
And it's got a little bit of that, but this is heavily
Oh, yeah, it's fully rock. Like,
musical vibe.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't understand. I mean, it works, I guess, but it's just random.
Also, like, the song is just a spectacle, right? The song is getting them from one place to the next.
Yeah.
The song is just pure, beautiful spectacle with moments on stage that are just...
Yeah. Really, it is just travel music.
Yeah, and it's
It starts when they leave her dressing room and ends when they get to his lair.
Sing once again with me a strange duet. My power over you grows stronger yet.
And it's some of the most iconic images from that decade of musical theater.
Oh, yeah. The candelabras rising from the lake because there's mist and they're in a boat. It's very cool. And even as we're going along, the song's not really saying a whole lot other than the phantom is there inside your mind. And
vocalizing.
Yeah.
Sing for me.
Yeah. And it gets higher and higher and higher.
Which I appreciate. I mean, it's like her vocal lesson, right? He's pushing her
Maybe this is what her lessons are.
Yeah, just her fainting and singing really high on a boat.
My spirit and my voice in one combined. The phantom of the opera is there inside my mind.
And as we're going along, get the still over and over the iconic phantom leitmotif, which is maybe the most iconic leitmotif ever of just the da 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 da.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's great. It's simple, and that's what makes it so great. It's a little bit of chromaticism, and it's perfect.
Yeah. And then at the end, Christine makes all the way up to a high E. And I've heard people say, I don't know that it's true, but I've heard people say that Sarah Brightman's the only person, at least for a long, long time, that sang that without having some augmentation from recorded vocals.
That I don't know.
And then as the song Phantom of the Opera ends, the track continues with kind of a transitional bit before the next song.
With organ.
And it is wonderful. It's Andrew Lloyd Webber saying, screw you to every theory and composition teacher that told you can't write parallel fourths or fifths. I do love it. Like, it's very effective.
Yeah.
Of sweet music's throne.
But it's just, it's
the
dramatic.
And part of that is that as we get further, when we hear the Phantom's actual compositions later, is that the Phantom has his own sound. The Phantom has his own sound and his own style. And that's something I appreciate about the show, is the way that the Phantom does that, and how if you go into the music theory behind it, he's ahead of his time.
Oh, yeah. We'll get to that definitely
Yes.
much more with Don Juan later. But again, I come back to, I always assumed for a long time, without really looking into it, that this was at the very edge of the time limit for what they could put on a disc. And that's why there are so many choices. And now to find out that that's not the case, I'm so confused. Because this track ends with this big dramatic moment, and then we go into Music of the Night as the next track, which is soft and a very different emotional place. But on this album, you get not even a full beat before we go into Music of the Night. It's like, we're not going to let that moment land?
Let it land, let it
Why
sink.
are we moving so quickly?
Yeah.
We don't need to move this quickly.
No.
Slowly, gently, night unfurls its splendor. Grasp it, sense it, tremulous and tender.
So Music of the Night is one of the more well-known songs from the show.
Yeah. Never my favorite.
Not my favorite, but this is one that I would have to say the orchestrations are doing the heavy lifting.
Oh, yeah, it's gorgeous.
Because if you hear this just like at a piano bar, somebody just sing along to only a piano accompaniment, you're like, okay, this is fine. But the orchestrations are just sweeping. And again, those horns get to show off and it sounds gorgeous. And you're like, yeah, okay, you know what you're doing with the orchestrations. You can let a lot of stuff slide with that.
Yeah.
Let your mind start a journey through a strange new world. Leave all thoughts of the world you knew before. Let your soul take you where you long to be.
But this is just his
I mean,
seduction song, I guess.
It is, and some of that is from Puccini. A lot of what Puccini will
Yes.
do is will have these beautiful melodies, and the singers will, sometimes they'll sing that, of course, and they'll sing the themes and everything, but when you get to the big moments, a lot of the time in Puccini, they'll just sing these glorious high notes in the stratosphere while the beautiful orchestration is happening below it, and it's just so moving, and it's so effective, and it's, yeah, and I feel like, well, I mean, some of this is very similar to a Puccini aria, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you about that.
yeah,
There's been a lot of talk over the years with people having different perspectives on it.
yeah,
That the that little riff there is
Yeah.
directly from, which opera is it?
La Fanciulla del West.
Yes. And some people get very outraged that Lloyd Webber is stealing music from others, and some people are like, it's an homage.
Yeah.
And people get very heated on either
They
side
do,
of that.
and I have a lot of feelings about it. But I think that part of, if he's stealing from it, if he was influenced by it or whatever, there are a lot of very strong similarities. And that one of my close friends who is obsessed with Phantom to the rate of probably more than I am, her and I went to this opera once, and there were a couple times where we just kind of looked at each other because there were some chords that just didn't feel good. Like, I'm all about being influenced and taking it. Part of that's why Phantom works so well. But some of it doesn't necessarily feel great to me.
Yeah.
And this is one of those moments.
Yeah, and this is one of those songs that I don't have as much to say just because it's
No, it's iconic.
iconic, it is what it is. So at the end of the song, we get these 4 chords that will repeat several times and eventually end the show. And I think this album does a decently good job at the tempo of it.
Yeah, I
Because
agree.
sometimes they take it so slow. And especially like they're doing these chords while he's holding out his last high note.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of times they're slowing it down to show off how long he can hold that note.
Yeah, because he's not on stage that long.
Yeah, but I'm just like, we get it. Can we move things along? Like, I have to be somewhere tomorrow. It's just, it goes on too long a lot of times.
Yeah, it does.
But
But
on this album, it's not bad.
no, it's not.
And then I
Yep.
love those. The organ comes crashing in as he is, what we'll later learn, he is working on composing his opera.
Yeah,
So we're getting our first taste of Don Juan Triumphant that we'll get in Act 2.
which I love.
But I just love how it's lulling you into this sleepy, quiet, lovely place, and then your mom playing the orchestra, the overture to wake you up. It's exactly that.
Keeps it moving, right? It keeps the audience engaged.
Yeah. And like you said, it's a very unique style of the Phantom musically. And it is a lot of dissonance, a lot of tritones, a lot of non-typical things for this musical period.
Whole tone scales, all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And then from those chords, we go to the next track, I Remember / Stranger Than You Dreamt It, which I'm like, you remember? Just look around. It's right there. You're in it. Why are you remembering?
I think that she's portrayed or maybe written as not a full person.
I mean, yeah, she's clearly sheltered and naive.
Very
and all that,
sheltered.
but
If she was in the ballet corps, she would be a literal child.
yeah.
And so, again, there's juxtaposition in this number because it starts off with her kind of spooky dreaming, waking up after her slumber.
Yeah.
I remember there was mist, swirling mist upon a vast glassy lake.
And I guess she's assuming that everything she saw was not real, that
Yeah.
she dreamt it all.
Because
But
who would
then-
think they'd walk through the mirror of their dressing room and then
and cross a lake under the opera house,
Yeah,
which is actually there.
yeah. It's an incredible building. If you're in Paris, it's worth.
Yeah. And then, so she's kind of reflecting on,
Who was that sheep in the shadows? Whose is the face in the mask?
like, oh, maybe this is real. Who was it? Because she still's not putting together any of the pieces, not even missing one piece. She's not started the puzzle
Yeah.
of figuring out what is what. So she goes up to the Phantom because she sees him. I guess she's coming from behind.
Yeah, he's
don't
like
remember.
playing the organ,
Yeah.
writing, notating
and,
it.
And she just takes his mask off because that seems like a smart thing to do.
Yeah,
And then he gets very, very unhappy with that
yeah.
and starts screaming at her in very dramatic, kind of more of the Don Juan type of music as he is singing.
Yeah.
Curse you! You little lying Delilah! You little viper! Now you
cannot ever be free. Damn you! Curse you!
I do love that as he gets angrier, the music is more frenzied.
Yes.
Dun, 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 dun. Like, I just love Don Juan. We'll get to that again more.
Yeah.
But it is wonderful how they're using these, it's not really a leitmotif, but using themes to represent things more than just the song itself.
Yeah.
Again, I wish Interlude Weber did that more often. I don't know what happened in this show that he hit it on the head, but I love it. And then his lyric,
Fear can turn to love, you'll learn to see, to find the man behind the monster, this repulsive carcass.
such a romantic.
That was part of one of my problems, even when I was in high school, because I was like, he is her music teacher. As someone who like, grew up with piano lessons and everything, I'm like, that's an intense relationship between someone who's like serious about music and their instructor. I mean, you meet for an hour a week alone in a room, and they hopefully kindly rip you apart. And then like, they're a mentor, and they're teaching you, and they're guiding you, and they're doing all of this. And then to have someone kind of, I mean, he abuses that, and that's what always one of my big problems with him, and why I was never Team Phantom.
Yeah. Not the murdering, just that.
I mean, they had it coming.
He had
No,
his
I'm kidding.
reasons.
I'm kidding. No, the murdering is also terrible.
Yeah, it's wonderful insight into the Phantom as a character.
Yeah.
To get more of he's been neglected and tormented and abused his whole life
Yeah.
for his physical deformity. And you're like, well, you don't have to be such a dick about it. Like, that's not her fault. She didn't do any of that to you.
No, and like if you were a decent person and didn't try to trick her, maybe she'd have given you a chance.
As we'll find out later.
Yeah.
And finally, he kind of tuckers himself out.
Mm-hmm.
She hands him back the mask, and then he does the,
Come, we must return. Those two fools who run my theater will be missing you.
And that was the end of the first side of tape 1.
Oh.
So I always like think of it's like with that beat with the "Come, we must return." And then it's like, oh, and it's gonna switch sides now.
I love that.
So like, still, I mean, it's been how many decades? But I still
Yeah.
think of that.
I love that moment. That's one
I do too.
that when I'm listening to the movie soundtrack, I miss that it's not sung.
Yeah.
The line's still there, but it's spoken. But I don't know why. I think it's just because it's fun to sing. In the next track, Magical Lasso, we start with an amazing horn fanfare.
Oh, it's great.
It makes no sense, but I love it so much. So then this is being sung by Joseph Bouquet, sung by Janos Kuruc, something like that. And
Great.
I don't like his voice. It sounds like he's literally swallowed his tongue.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a singer though, right? Like he's like the character actor who's like the creepy guy who is in The Flies.
Yeah, but just like no, Bouquet, spit it out.
That's fair. Yeah, you're right.
You must be always on your guard, or he will catch you with his magical lasso.
And he is teasing the chorus girls
Oh, the ballerinas.
Flirting.
He's flirting with them, scaring them,
by telling them the ghost stories about the Phantom.
and holding up the lasso.
Yeah. And Madame Giry is not having it.
he's flirting, and then Madame Giry comes. She protects her girls,
Yeah. And also, we will later learn that she has more knowledge of the Phantom than anybody else.
which we kind of has been alluded to from the
It's-
very beginning.
Yeah, but it'll get a lot more explicitly stated later.
Oh yeah, completely.
Versus she arrives with the note from him earlier, things like that.
Yeah.
But, so she's like, you better shut up, because otherwise you're going to fuck around and find out.
Exactly. Prudent silence is wise.
Exactly. Why is Madame Giry the only French person?
I think it fits.
Does it?
I mean,
The whole show takes place in Paris,
she needs
and she's
to.
the only one with a French accent.
Maybe it's Russian. Who knows? I mean, I think it gives her certain authority because as the ballet mistress, she's going to sound different than everybody probably. And she just needs to have a certain authority where she can, pound her cane, stick, whatever it is.
Yeah, she
and, and get the attention of everybody, including the opera diva.
Yeah. So, okay, in this song, in this album, her last line is,
He will burn you with the heat of his eyes.
that's weird.
That's like from the book.
Yeah, but it's one of those that feels like it was lifted directly out, and they like, should we add some context to make this actually mean something? No? Okay, that's good. That's fine.
But it helps to create the aura. I mean, it's like in Wicked with like water will melt her. It's the same. It's like it builds like this aura where like we can already see that like so far he's been pretty human, right? Like he's doing something, but there's all these stories and the whispers and the shadows of the opera house. They're whispering about him. And he has his magical lasso. He can burn you with the heat of his eyes. He doesn't have a nose.
Yeah. It just, to me,
it's the rumor
so
mill.
they changed the line, I think, for Broadway, I don't remember, but definitely it's changed in the movie.
Yeah.
For keep your hand at the level of your eyes.
Yeah.
And I think that works much better, one, because that'll come back later.
It's a theme, yeah.
And so it makes more sense later if we've already said it here.
Yeah.
And the song's about the lasso, which the whole point is keep your hand at the level of your eyes so that if the rope comes down, it's going to catch your hand in it and you can
Get
free
out of
yourself.
it, yeah.
Although whenever they do hold their hand at the level of their eyes, they're holding it like out away from their head.
Yeah.
Like, how is that helping?
At Masquerade, Madame Giry, she made us hold our hands at the level of our eyes while we were running through the opera house, and it was really fun.
Okay, I do love that. So this is a pretty short track, not a whole lot else to say.
Yeah.
And then now we go into, I think, my favorite, possibly my favorite, Notes/Prima Donna.
You and I share that. It is my absolute favorite, and this is the number
is
that
so good.
makes or breaks the production, and it makes or breaks the recording. And I literally won't listen to it if it's not the way that I need it to be.
Yeah. So in this, we start with Fiamma and André, the two new owners of the opera house.
In their office.
They got a letter, whichever one got the letter first, got a letter from the Phantom with some thoughts.
Yeah.
And then the other one also gets a letter, and basically everybody has been sent a note, and one by one they're coming in and making accusations of, how could you send this to me? Well, I didn't send it, and chaos erupts in drama and opera, and
So,
it's
but like one
wonderful.
by one, they all start coming, but Christine. So, right,
Yes.
so it's the two managers, it's Carlotta, it's Piangi, her partner / the lead tenor, it's Raoul, it's Madame Giry, and it's Meg. Am I
Yep.
missing anyone?
No, I think that's it.
It's like we get a good slice of the cast, but Christine and the Phantom are
Because this is
noticeably
where
absent.
she's been missing all night.
Yep.
Because she's been down in the lair.
Yep, but it's getting good numbers for them for their sales.
Yes. So, one of the first lines, though, I never knew what they were saying, and after finding out what it is, I still will argue that they're not actually saying it. The line is, mystified, baffled, sorate say. We're mystified, we suspect foul play. That is definitely not what he sings on this album.
No,
Mystified, baffled, so they say we are mystified, we suspect foul play.
it's supposed to be like that's like the newspaper clipping, right?
Well, so they changed it for the movie, at least, for mystified, the papers say. But
Yes.
here, so the sorate is the police.
Yeah,
So the line is supposed to be, the police don't know what happened, they are suspecting foul play. But the way he says that line,
it makes sense. Yeah,
you can't get that word out of it.
no,
So the line is literally meaningless. And
it is.
I'm very
Maybe it
confused.
was different on Broadway because there's certain things that don't translate well across
Yeah.
from
And I think that was
the UK.
I think that might have been one that was cut from the bootleg that I saw because it was kind of snippets here and there.
Yeah,
But yeah, I don't. John Savant, you can do better. You should do better. He's also sometimes flattening melodies to just be one note and like, no, it's supposed to be changing and moving.
character choices that we don't care for.
No, not so much. So I think the first one to come in is Raoul.
I think so. I don't remember.
So Raoul comes in and thinks that he was sent this note from the managers.
Yeah,
We're in the dark. Monsieur Tartague, isn't this the letter you wrote?
And what is it that we're meant to have written?
Do not fear for Miss Taille. The angel of music has her under his wing. Make no attempt to see her again.
If you didn't write it, who did?
but it's like nonstop. It's just like they keep coming in.
Yeah, it's super fun. It's great musically, the back and forth between so many different characters and overlays, and you get a lot of really complex polyphonic sound, and it's wonderful.
And this is reminiscent of actual opera.
Yeah, okay. That's one of the things I wanted to ask because it felt like that to me, and I was like, is that a real thing, or am I just not well-versed enough in opera?
So tonally, this actually, I can tell you what this reminds me of, and this is, again, I'm not an expert. I'm just a big fan, and I go to a lot of stuff, but this reminds me of Act 2 of La Boheme, because there's a part in Act 2 where one of the characters, she sings her aria, and then by singing her aria, she realizes that she's in love with her ex, so then she pretends to hurt her foot, and then the ex starts singing her main aria, the love theme, and then she's going on and on about her foot, and then the chorus is going on about other things that are happening. This other couple is together, and they're going off on how much they're in love and all this kind of thing. All of the kids are running around, and then it all happens. But that's Musetta's Waltz, which is also quoted in Rent, and then it reminds me of the song Christmas Bells in Rent.
Yes.
Because it's the same
idea.
Same idea, some of the same techniques.
Yeah.
Just done
Love
quite
it.
differently. Yeah.
On his work we pray to rose, the angels cease, the angels
fly from my arms.
So there's so much dramatically happening in this scene. And overall, I think on this recording, this is the least interesting voice acting that we get.
Yeah.
Like, they're very one note about a lot of things.
Yeah. I
especially the
appreciate
managers.
The managers, yes, but I appreciate the singing and I appreciate the way that it's mixed.
The singing is good, yeah, but just especially this is one where I love the soundtrack version because they are at least acting the hell out of it in the movie, and you get exactly what they're doing, and it's so much more fun.
Yeah.
There are also some weird choices, like when Raoul says, "If you didn't send it, then who did?" I always thought that line should be like accusatory, like, "Well, if you didn't send it, who did?" Versus him being genuinely confused, like, who could have sent it?
Well, I think they don't want to believe that the opera, at this point, they don't want to believe the opera ghost is real.
No.
And then part of what's fun is when they're reading the letters from him and then the Phantom's voice slowly takes over.
Yes.
You have not followed my instructions. I shall give you
one last chance.
And it's fun the way that it's mixed because in the theater, the sound gets thrown to different places in the theater and the sound is coming from different sides. And it does the same thing if you have it with headphones on or like a decent system in your car. If you're listening to musicals in your car.
What else am I going to listen to?
Right.
Except for podcasts.
Especially
about
this
musicals.
podcast. Yes, exactly. So I think that it does a really cool job of the way that this recording does that. I think it's better than most of the other recordings.
Yeah. This is also the better lyrics in this recording.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things where I appreciate this version more for the lyrics, and I appreciate the movie version more for the acting.
That's fair.
So as you mentioned, the last to arrive is Madame Giry with the note from the Phantom talking about his plans that
My
Christine,
theater,
Christine will be the one singing the lead role tomorrow, and not Carlotta.
She'll be playing the page boy.
Yes,
the silent role.
And Carlotta is not happy about that, so she goes to fly off the handle
in Italian.
Love it. And the managers are trying to calm her down, which then is how we get into Prima Donna.
But by getting there, there's my favorite moment musically of probably the show, where during her meltdown, and it's all coming together right as the Prima Donna theme hits, the big chord that they do. This is honestly how I judge these, because she's the opera diva. It's a high E. Yes, it's in the middle of a chord, but it's so impactful if it's there. Now, a lot of the Carlottas don't sing that. They don't sing the high note. So like if you listen to the Royal Albert Hall version, she doesn't sing it. It should be a high E. I believe that she's doing a B or a C instead, which then it inverts the chord, so it doesn't have the same impact that it does when she's singing the high note and finishing the chord the way that she should.
That's disappointing.
And I know that I'm also hypercritical because it's me, but it deflates everything. It's supposed to be this very big dramatic moment, and then it's just like the wind gets sucked out of it because they don't sing the chord.
What new surprises lie in store?
They also decide, because the Phantom wants Carlotta to play the silent role, but in this, while Carlotta's going off the handle, they decide that Christine will have the silent role and Carlotta will be playing the lead.
Yeah. I think that drama of building toward that note that you were talking about is just so exciting and fun and driving.
And operatic.
And operatic.
And the orchestration is beautiful.
Yeah. I know we keep repeating that because it's very, very true. And then Prima Donna is just absurd. It's basically them groveling to her the whole song.
Which, I mean, if they almost, I mean, think about if this was Taylor Swift, if you brought Taylor Swift in, you almost kill her by a set piece falling on you. And then you say like, okay, Taylor Swift, you're not going to sing. And you have a silent role where you're playing a trouser role. So you're playing a man dressed as a woman who is the love interest who doesn't speak. I don't think she'd be happy. And I think that you would grovel.
Yeah. And it gives a lot of great lyrics in here.
And this is also stolen from opera, right? This is also like the waltz. It keeps going and building, and the theme moves between the voices. And
yep.
I enjoy that.
I really love when the managers have their little faster part, more of a patter.
Love it. And she's just vocalizing while sitting in her chair, getting rolled around the stage.
Yes.
In the most beautiful, that's like one of the most beautiful costumes. Just the
as
furs, as she deserves. It's like the only time I think that we see her, one of the only times that we see her not in an operatic costume.
Okay, yeah.
So
makes sense.
It had to be good.
Yeah.
High note at the end of this is very high, but not as high as my favorite note at the transition. It's only a high D
Only.
on the once more. Once more.
I love that. And I actually don't think it's on any of the recordings, but I love when they do the, like, before that last note, give that
great.
huge inhale.
Well, because it
It's
should be
funny.
like a little campy. Like, this is a little bit of, it's creepy.
It is.
But it's also a
all-
little bit of comic relief.
Yep.
I mean, this is setting in motion the rest of the musical.
Yeah.
And I just think it's so dramatic. And I think that part of this, the magic is the stage work in it too, with the curtain work.
Mm-hmm.
In this, with the curtain closing as they're singing the notes, then opening again when the Phantom does it, and then it's great.
Yeah. Yeah. It ends huge chord, and then we go right into. For our next opera within the show,
Il Muto.
Il Muto. And this is even more brutally spliced, I think,
It is.
than Hannibal. There's a lot that's missing that's on the other albums, which, again, I love what they cut because it's fun little light opera comic moments.
Well, it's because part of why I think Phantom works so well is that it's the Gothic romance, right?
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the tension is because the characters that we know what's happening, they know what the danger is, but they're performing in front of an audience of 2,000 that doesn't. So they're in this room with thousands of people, and it should be safe, but it isn't. And that's part of what I think the fun is.
Yeah.
Plus, the staging is with the theater, and the chandelier lights up when they're in the auditorium, and it's fun.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love the little pishti. Like, it's great. This is my favorite.
Poor fool, he makes me laugh. I'm trying to get a better half.
So I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
As I said before, most of the score is very well matched lyrically with the music to scan well, have syllabic stress match musical
Mm-hmm.
stress. This is very decidedly not that. Do you think that's intentional because it's within the opera that it's making it feel other?
I think
Or is
so.
it just that they got tired and didn't keep looking at it?
To me, I want to think it's intentional because I don't want to speak for someone who's, someone else in their creative process. But to me, it feels intentional because of it's they're performing, right?
Yeah,
This is the
it
one
makes it
where
feel a little bit more stilted and kind of.
they're in their big wigs.
You're
The
aware of
whole
it.
thing is so stylized. I mean, it's with the fans, the big wigs, the white faces, the
Yep.
core, like the
Giant costumes.
yeah.
So as we're going along, the Phantom is sneaking around. He's not happy because they ignored his wishes
Mm-hmm.
and have Carlotta in the lead.
And Christine
Miss
is
Dye will be playing the page boy.
the silent row.
Yes. And as we're going along, he makes his presence known. And Christine says,
It's him. I know it. It's him. Your part is silent, little toad.
A toad, madam? Perhaps it is you who are the toad.
so then when she starts to sing again, her
Which-
voice croaks.
It's just great because it's like a lot of vocalizing, but she says he makes me laugh, and then her big vocalization is just going ha 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 ha. It's so silly.
Yeah.
I love
But
it.
it's smart because it's just an excuse to have a melisma.
And then when she starts croaking, that's my favorite.
Yeah. And he's laughing.
And the chandelier starts shaking
So as we're going along, she can't sing. She's got her croaking fit.
and crying.
Yeah, she runs off stage. The managers come up and like, sorry for the delay. We'll continue in 10 minutes with Christine playing the role.
Yeah.
In the meantime, here have the ballet. Again, the lines are not very well delivered on this album, I don't think. They're very flat,
Yeah.
but that's okay. So now we have the ballet music while everybody's scrambling to get things going.
Scrambling.
So you have people wheeling stuff across the stage in the middle of the ballet, almost hitting ballerinas because they're not set up for this. It's supposed to be 2 acts from now.
Yeah.
And throughout this, we're starting to get this eerie music on top of the ballet
With some shadows.
as the Phantom is causing some trouble.
yeah.
And then the music is building, just getting
And the
more
ballerinas
chaotic and
are
chaotic.
just spinning and spinning and
Yes.
spinning.
And then down drops a man in a noose. And is Joseph Bouquet, the master of the flies.
With a great music moment.
Yes. We get the big, huge notes again, and everybody starts screaming, and it is musically fantastic.
Yeah. Just chaos.
And then we go into more of the Don Juan style music, because that's our theme with the Phantom,
And
which
then
I
we
love.
get one of my favorite lines as a child was, "To the roof. We'll be safe there."
Naturally.
Naturally.
Where else could you be safe? So as they're running away, we get the next track of Why Have You Brought Me Here / Raoul, I've Been There.
Yeah.
So as they're running to the roof, they're singing, Raoul and Christine, naturally.
Because Raoul still, my understanding is that he still doesn't know that the Phantom's an actual real person.
Yeah. So, okay, the audacity of straight men.
Yeah.
that I know better. I don't care that you've had an experience, that you've seen this person. Believe me,
That he
he's
kidnapped
not
you
real.
overnight.
Yeah, I think I know better than you what happened to you. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Like, Raoul? I mean, I'm not Team Phantom, but sometimes I'm not the biggest fan of Raoul either.
No.
I just...
That's funny.
Like the Phantom is a fable, believe me. There is no Phantom of the Opera because I know everything.
Hey.
I can't entertain the possibility that maybe the Phantom exists, but he's actually just a person.
Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss.
Exactly. Although, so in the opening line, after I made my note earlier about the eyes that burn from Madame Giry, Christine does say the eyes that burn, referring to the Phantom.
Yeah.
But for her, it feels more metaphorical, like that he's burning into your soul.
Yeah, just like an intense stare.
Not like laser beams. Which is what Madame Giry gives me, like burning with the heat of his eyes.
Yeah.
Michael Crawford is not burning me with those eyes. No.
No, he does have good contacts, though.
That's what matters. And as they're running through, though, I love working this obviously fast music that's very dramatic.
Yeah.
But the clarinets are doing the most dramatic bits of Don Juan.
Yeah.
My God, who is this man who haunts to kiss?
Mask of death.
I can't escape
This
from
is this voice you
I
hear
never will.
with every breath.
While they're running, I love it so much.
I do too.
I do think in the course of the song, Christine goes pretty quickly from, oh no, he's going to kill me, to, yeah, but he made me feel good. I'm like, wow, we just lost that anger real quick.
It all kind of just changes, right? The mode of the music just changes.
Yeah.
And it goes from all this scary to, but his voice.
Music, my soul began to sigh.
So then as we get to the end of the track, as the music is now softer and Raoul is trying to comfort her and he sings, Christine, Christine, and the Phantom from offstage just very creepily, Christine.
It's great.
And she hears it because she's like, what was that? But then just immediately dismisses it because I guess she's too dickmatized to pay attention to her instinct saying, hey, this guy's trying to kill us. I just heard him.
But we're on the roof and we're safe.
Yeah, so it's all fine. It's all magical, lovely. And now we go into All I Ask of You.
Which, best orchestrations, my favorite orchestrations.
This is
so
another one
schmaltz.
where the orchestrations are doing the heavy lifting.
It's the romantic era orchestrations. It's everything I love about that era of classical music with that. And it's just so luscious and beautiful.
Let me be your freedom. Let daylight dry your tears. I'm here with you beside you, to guard you and to guide you.
Yeah, it is gorgeous.
This does the same thing for the orchestrations, and it's the Puccini, what I consider the Puccini, and again, I could be wrong, but where the orchestrations do a lot, and then they're just singing kind of straight notes a lot of the time, while the beautiful orchestrations are below them.
Yeah, I guess I'd never really thought about the fact that that might be an intentional style choice.
I mean, it might not be, but
maybe. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that one.
yeah.
Then say you'll share with me one love, one lifetime. Let me lead you from your solitude.
And then, again, not a whole lot to say. It's a fairly straightforward love song. And then,
But it sets the love triangle.
yes,
Those two are in love. They are together. It sets that up so that the Phantom is just kind of an interloper now.
yeah, which we explore in the reprise, which is the next track.
Which is when everyone starts crying.
And it is well done. We start with
It's so well done.
a beautiful little preview of Masquerade with her.
I must go. They'll wonder where I am. Wait for me, Raoul.
Christine, I love you.
So then I guess she goes back to. Are they going to continue performing? I
With
would
her
assume
in
not.
the role, so she has to get her costume on. But we also
But they
get the
still have Man
theme.
Die. Are they really going to continue?
The show must go on. But we also get the main theme, the Christine I Love You theme, which comes back later. So we get the lay it out
we'll
right
get
here.
We'll get a few of these musical themes in
Yeah.
this song throughout Act 2.
Yeah.
So they leave the roof. The Phantom comes out. Oh, he's been there the whole time. So the Phantom is basically heartbroken that she's now in love with somebody else.
With his Christine.
Yeah.
And now, how you've repaid me, denied me and betrayed me.
And then he starts crying as you hear them like echoes of what they were singing.
Off stage.
And it's like, all right, you're just kind of torturing yourself here, but sure, go off. And then he quickly gets over that and gets angry.
Pulls it together
and uses
switches to anger.
funnel that into your madness.
Which great horn parts in this orchestration.
Always,
Great
yes.
strings, great horns,
Yep.
just with the "You will curse."
You will curse the day you did not do all that the phantom asked of you.
I love it. And then we get back to the da 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 da.
In the meantime, if you see it on stage, it's confusing because the audience starts applauding because the cast is coming out and bowing.
Yes, because the opera. Oh, that's right. Yes, they did keep going because they come out to bow.
And then at
And
the
that is when he
very
yells,
end,
"Go!"
Christina comes out to bow in the Carlotta costume with the big wig, and then you hear the go.
And then the chandelier comes crashing down. Crashing is a misnomer a little bit.
It depends where you're sitting. So one of the times that I saw this on Broadway, I was in the 4th row center, which is directly under the middle of the chandelier.
Yeah.
And I mean, the show had been running for 34 years at that point. And when I tell you that everybody around me started screaming, like,
Wow.
losing their minds screaming. And they'd be like, oh yeah, I've seen the show before. Because it's different. I mean, the chandeliers, the Broadway one was huge. And then you look up and it's literally falling directly above you. And then it swings at what seems like the last moment.
Yeah, if you're in that position, it certainly looks like the last moment, I'm sure.
Yeah, and it was, I have to say, it was perfect. It was worth going and paying and doing everything for that specific seat, for that specific experience, because I wanted that. Because I've watched this show my whole life. I want to be under the goddamn chandelier. And I was.
You were.
Yeah.
I love it. It is quite the way to end Act 1. So now we're at intermission. Hooray.
Intermission. Oh my gosh. Take a breath. Get that chandelier back up in the ceiling.
Go get your $50 wine and come back for the entr'acte.
Which is great.
I love a good entr'acte.
I do
Always.
too. And it's beautiful. The orchestration is great. The horns, lovely.
And this
Strings,
actually is
lovely.
an entr'acte where we're getting lots, selections from the first act. Unlike the overture, which was just the one song. This is a medley.
And it's very uplifting
Yes.
until
that last, we get the Phantom's chords coming back to end the entr'acte. And then I've always found it strange that they include the
Monsieur, Firmin, Monsieur, André.
that they included that on the album but cut other things. I'm so confused about.
Yeah.
Because especially without the visual, you're like, what is going on? Because in the show, they're creeping up. They're both backing from the sides of the stage toward the center, kind of creeping
In their costumes.
watching their backs, and then they bump into each other.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh no, is it the Phantom or is it my business partner? Oh, okay, we're good. And then they can laugh about it. But without having that on the album, it's weird to include that.
Yeah.
Oh well. And then they sing a little ditty where they're, I think, projecting a little bit more than they really are feeling good, because they say, what a pity that the Phantom can't be here. I'm like, really? One, it's not like he's in jail or anything. He's still out there.
He's just has been
Why
gone
would
for
you,
a few months.
Why would you tempt fate by saying you wish he was here? Two, you don't know that he's not there. As we'll learn, he actually is there.
Inside my mind. No.
But the end of this, so this is, for me, the definition of a smash cut to the next track.
I must say all the same that it's a shame that phantom fellow isn't here.
It's very abrupt to go into that
The masquerade.
versus,
As opposed to the little whistles.
where there's a little like
The little monkey.
the monkey
with
music
the
box
bells. Yeah.
doing like 16 bars or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not long, but it gives a much better transition, I think.
Yeah.
And again, the second act is only 47 minutes. It's even shorter, like the second disc.
Yeah.
Why couldn't we have had that little transition music to make it flow better?
Yeah.
I don't understand. There's obviously something going on that I'm not aware of, because they're not stupid. But I want to know what that thing was that made them make the choices they made.
Yeah.
Oh well. But now we go into Masquerade / Why So Silent.
I just think it's a great The orchestrations are beautiful. It
Yep.
sets everything up. It shows you what's happening in the story. It reintroduces all of the characters. It does.
And we're showing that time has passed.
Yeah.
What a night, what a crowd.
Makes you glad, makes you proud. All the creme de la creme.
Watching us,
And all our
watching
fears
them.
are in the
6
past.
months of relief,
Of delight.
of Elysian peace.
And we can breathe at last.
And musically, it's very fun. How do you feel about the tempo of this one? Because this is one that different productions, different recordings will go. Some go very slow, some go very fast.
I think it's a good tempo. I don't want it to go slower, but if it goes faster, that's fine. I think
I'd like it a touch faster.
that's fair.
This isn't the worst out there, but I would like it a little bit faster.
I appreciate that it looks like the actual entry, like the actual like, grand hall
On stage, yeah.
in the
staircase.
Paris Opera. But I love musically what this does, because this lets the singers sing, especially with the key change. Live, you feel like so much sound is coming at you with the big orchestra and with the huge group of singers.
Because you get the full chorus.
It feels like it's pushing you back in your chair.
Yeah.
And the speakers can kind of do that. And I think that this is mixed really well in a way that a lot of recordings, even of classical music, just don't do the greatest job of conveying the power behind the
Yeah.
voice with that. And so I think that this recording does that very well, in my opinion.
Yeah. Lyrically, we get some weird choices in this song.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'll take spinning reds, but grinning yellows? What? I don't understand.
It's a stretch.
They just wanted to rhyme with spinning.
Yeah.
But okay, whatever.
Musically, I love the moment where it all kind of like comes down and then we get the secret engagement.
I love that spot.
Think of it, a secret engagement. Look, your future bright. Just think of it.
Why is it secret? What have we to hide?
Please let's
Christine,
not
you're
fight.
free.
Wait till the time
When
is
will
right.
that be? It's an engagement, not a crime.
This is the one that when I watch the movie, I get angry every time that they turn into dialogue. It's all the same words. You've got the musical
music
backing
is
behind
happening.
it. Why not just sing it?
Because it's such a great back and forth.
Yeah.
And it shows who they are as a couple. And it's great.
Yeah. So I love that little section. And the way it transitions into the dance, the instrumental dance break is fantastic.
with all the
This,
spinning.
though, so look, your future bride. What have we to hide?
Yeah.
So
it's a little awkward.
all that syllabic stress stuff I said earlier is now out the window, apparently.
Yeah.
You were doing so well before.
Yeah.
But yeah, just put on an octave jump up, the least important syllable. Why not?
Yeah. I love the musical interlude with the strings where they're like spinning.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And then, so once again, we don't really finish the song. We are interrupted by
With
the Phantom.
The great music is coming back.
Yes, the Phantom's leitmotif announces his entrance with a fantastic costume.
And the best horn. That's my favorite. One of my favorite horn moments in the show is just because we just gotten the key change up, and then right when it gets big, you get the huge horns just playing the Phantom's theme. And it's a
And
costume.
as they're slowing down, it makes it even more dramatic. It's great.
That costume gave me nightmares as a child.
This gorgeous red outfit with a huge hat and a skull face, and
Yeah.
very intimidating. And he's coming down, and they're like, "Oh, really? We thought you'd left."
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know why you would think that.
And it's like,
You didn't do anything to get rid of him.
coming from the top of the steps, slowly stepping down with
One
the beat. It's
yep,
great.
It's perfect. And so now it's a great transition from the masquerade portion into Why So Silent. I wish these were separate tracks.
Yeah.
Pretty much any on this album, any of the ones that are together except for I Remember and Stranger Than You Dreamt It, I feel should be separated out.
That's fair.
But he's coming down, and now we've been teasing Don Juan triumphant all along, but here we finally have it announced with a great brass fanfare.
Have you missed me, good messieurs? I have written you an opera. Here I bring the finished score. Don Juan triumphant.
And he has the score.
But we're getting more of the Don Juan music as he is telling them about it a little bit.
Yeah.
But then he sees Christine, he sees the ring. Unclear if he'd already seen it before, but he rips it off of her neck.
I was going to say, snatches it.
Your chains are still mine. You will sing for me.
he disappears in a puff of smoke.
And then reappears.
Wonderful. And then I do have to say, at the end of this track, Michael Crawford is not exactly in tune. There's a lot of things where it's like, I'm not sure what the note's even supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because we're not anywhere close to any note that would make sense. So that's disappointing.
Yeah.
Because he's very exposed at that time. There's not a lot of music behind him.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, well. We'll get over it. And then there's some music for Madame Giry's Tale that is not on this album.
Yeah, it's cut from this.
Yeah.
But that gives context to Phantom.
Yeah, I guess I understand the thought process probably, because most of the music is just underscoring for a monologue.
They're speaking over it.
But there are parts that she's singing.
Yeah.
So we did that for the prologue because it set up other things. Here, it would make a lot of things clearer if we got that.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they didn't include it.
Oh.
But it's on the concert album.
Yeah.
So next up we have Notes again, a reprise with Twisted Every Way.
Which I love.
Sometimes I think I like this one even better than the first one because this gets so melodramatic. I love it. It's beautiful.
And my favorite part is when it gets into when Christine kind of goes off and is
going on her thing. She's actually not just the waif anymore.
Yeah.
I love it.
I just love when Carlotta just goes, she's mad. That's like my favorite. I know. I love her. She's the one behind this.
Yeah.
Christine Daae.
How dare you?
I
love that so much. The drama.
Yeah.
Christine Daae, she doesn't have the voice.
Signora, please.
Then I take it you're agreed.
She's behind
It
this.
appears we have no choice.
She's the one behind this. Christine Daae. How dare you? I'm not a fool. You evil woman. How dare you? You think I'm blind? It's just my fault. I don't want any part in this plot.
But I mean, we start off the song with just people reading each other. Like,
Yeah.
that third trombone, get someone with pitch because he can't hear a thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, we're just going to roast the orchestra. We're going to roast the chorus.
But that's
the
what classical
actors.
music is.
I know, but
That's
it's,
what
it's
it
funny.
is.
I love
I've
it.
literally had conversations like that before with one of my friend's orchestras. It was the second trombone. I was like, the second trombone was like bad. She's like, I know, but they're on the board.
Oh, no.
Dear Andre, read my orchestrations. We need another first bassoon. Get a player with tone, and that third trombone has to go. The man could not be deafer, so please preferably one who plays in tune.
And then, so it's a similar thing to before where we're getting different people coming in with their notes that they've received.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one, Madame Giry brings it in, please, monsieur, another note. And everybody just goes, ugh. I love it.
I do too.
It's so funny. So from there, we go into We Have All Been Blind, that little section where they're making a plan of they will do the Phantom's opera because then they know he'll attend and they know where he's going to sit in box 5 and then they can capture him.
We make certain the doors are barred. We make certain the men are there.
We make certain they're armed. The curtain falls. His reign will end.
And then Madame Giry is saying, madness, this is not going to work.
Yeah.
And
So people are going to die.
And they're like, well, why don't you help us if you're being so pessimistic? Or could it be that you're on his side?
Yeah.
And that makes so much more sense if you had that little bit of her telling the tale of finding the Phantom as a child.
Yeah.
Because now Raoul has reason to suspect her loyalty may not lie with them.
Yeah.
But without that,
So she knows too much.
she knows too much.
She's a woman who's too
There have
powerful.
been too many accidents.
And they're misogynistic men.
Yeah. But it still works, I guess. But it'd be better if we had that little moment earlier to be calling back to here.
Yeah.
So there's some mixing issues along here.
Okay.
The one looking at the score as I'm listening, I realize, oh, there's this cool little moment that you can't hear. So right after Carlotta sings, this is all her doing, referring to Christine. Raoul sings, this is his undoing, talking about the Phantom.
Yeah.
But you can't hear Raoul's at all.
No.
Like once I saw it in the score and I listened for it, I can hear some consonants that I assume are going along with what he's saying, but you can't hear it.
Yeah.
And I understand there's a lot going on. It's really complicated to mix that many elements at once, but it's unfortunate not to get that fun wordplay.
Yeah.
So they're going along doing all that. Very much the opera stuff like before with notes where multiple people sing different things on top of each other.
And I love that.
It's wonderful. And then Christine has Twisted Every Way. This is some of the most beautiful poetic lyrics in the show, I think.
Okay.
I don't know why, but just it fits perfectly. Like the flow of it is wonderful. And it's just, it's the right amount of poeticism where it's not like over the top, make me want to puke kind of thing, but it's elevated. It's fun. Like what I once used to dream, I now dread. Like that's just simple but beautiful. And I think it's lovely to hear that musically because we're getting the kind of callback to earlier melodies as well. And it's really fun.
It is.
And
It
then,
also gives it the sense of the, like, we're back here.
Yeah.
Like, we thought we were past this. We're back here. We need to end this once and for all.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Twisted every way, what answer can I give? Am I to risk my life to win the chance to live? Can I betray the man who once inspired my voice? Do I become his prey? Do I have any choice?
and then really this track has a lot, like has way too much in it. They should
Yeah.
have split it up a bit. Because from there now we go to the Don Juan rehearsal,
Which I love that scene.
which is fantastic. And again, it's abridged compared to what's in the show, but that's fine. I think this is a much better abridgment where what they cut isn't as abrupt and noticeable that they made a cut. And I don't think you lose a whole lot of what's important.
I appreciate that because you get this as a scene because of how it starts. It's a rehearsal and they're struggling.
Because it's a type of music that no one's ever heard before.
No, it isn't going to become big until decades later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Piangi especially cannot do that whole tone scale.
It's great. And I love Carlotta in this scene as well because I just think that she's kind of the voice of, not quite the voice of reason, but maybe, and just all around, just
Kind of, yeah.
And just kind of like, this is weird. This isn't what our audience is going to know.
His way is better. At least he makes it sound like music.
I love that. And I like Madame Giry's confrontation because that just sets it up so that Madame Giry brings back the Phantom to it all.
Those who tangle with Don Juan.
His way is better. At least he make it a sound like music.
Signora, would you speak that way in the presence of the composer?
The composer is not here. And if
Are
he
you
were
certain
here, I
of
would
that,
say to it.
Signor?
And then it switches to the
And
piano.
we have
Just
chaos.
Chaos.
And all of a sudden, everybody snaps to the piano is playing itself, and they're all singing the notes correctly.
and it's creepy.
So this is where the magic comes in.
And it's super intense. It's
Yeah.
super intense chorus work. They're singing, and it's a lot of dissonance in it.
And then it's a really beautiful transition also into the Journey to the Cemetery
Yeah.
music, which is haunting. And we're getting a reprise of the Phantom of the Opera
Yeah.
with a very different backing underneath.
Yeah.
And it feels so different and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's much more kind of fearful.
And it's showing the level of dismay that she's in.
Yeah, it really well establishes
'Cause it's
what
a lot
she's
of-
feeling internally.
It's a lot of bare string, right? So we've gone from these huge lush orchestrations to just single.
I think it's like
string
a
play.
synth,
Yeah,
sustained
like a synth
chords,
and then a single
and then a
violinist.
single violin on top. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
In sleep he sang to me, in dreams he came. That voice which calls to me and speaks my name.
And then she gets to the cemetery, and we have the other candidate for my top song, Wishing You Were Somehow Here Again.
Really?
I love this one.
Oh, good.
But I think this is an example of the orchestrations are just so good that that's
Yeah.
a lot of what I love about it, especially in the second half. It's just, it knocks me out every time.
That's good. I mean, I can understand that. For me, I feel like the song doesn't quite hit where I want it to.
Okay.
I feel like the writing, it just doesn't get quite to the point that it could. And so that just for me, it's like, okay, well, this is good. Is it the 11 o'clock number? Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know that I'd go that far.
Yeah.
But something I never noticed until a couple days ago, when she's doing her little recitative,
Yeah.
her father promised her, that section, the bells behind her are doing a tritone.
Her father promised her that he would send her the angel of music.
I'd never noticed that before.
Phantom.
Yeah, it's like even before he makes himself known after this song,
Yeah.
we actually are getting the hint early on that he's around.
Yeah.
Which, again, that's so subtle. And Andrew Lloyd Webber is never subtle.
But that's part of what I think makes this so appealing is that just like, because we don't see the Phantom very much. He's not on stage very much.
Yeah.
But he's always a presence. It's like
Yeah.
Jaws, right? Jaws is more effective because you don't really see the shark.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And I think this is a very quiet moment where she is at the cemetery to visit her father's grave.
Yeah.
She's reflecting. And again, some of these lyrics I think are just beautiful. The
Passing bells and sculptured angels, cold and monumental, seem for you the wrong companions. You are warm and gentle.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a good, like, she's recognizing that she needs to move on, but she's afraid and wishing that he was just there to hold her hand and tell her what to do.
Yeah.
And we've all been there.
Yeah. And the orchestrations are beautiful. I do like the strings.
Yeah, the second half. The first half is fine.
I like it.
It's good for the shape of the song to start
Yeah.
off quieter and not as big.
Yeah.
But once it really opens up, it's so good.
Reminisce, fighting back tears. Why can't the past just die? Wishing you were somehow here again. We must say goodnight.
Those horns, again, just they
sustaining
get to
it.
shine.
They do.
So at some point they repeated the last line. Because in this recording, she just says it
doesn't.
once.
Every time that I've heard it performed, otherwise they do repeat the last line.
So I'm not sure
And she
when
goes
that-
up the octave at the end.
Yes, which is so perfect. I think it
If she can
really
hit the
puts a
note.
better button. Well, that's always the
Yeah.
caveat. So I'm curious. I want to know when that was added. Was that added for Broadway, or because I think that was also cut from the bootleg that I saw,
Oh, that'd be interesting. I don't know.
or
'Cause
was that somewhere along the lines, or did they do that for the movie and then just kept it after that? I don't know.
I don't know.
It's really weird that for such a ubiquitous show, there are so few cast recordings because there haven't been revivals.
Because it's just ran
Because it just ran. And so
forever.
they didn't need to record more albums. And so even though it's everywhere,
It's the longest running Broadway show, and it doesn't have a Broadway cast recording.
yeah, isn't that weird?
I love that.
But we just don't have a lot to compare to know when things were changed and all that
No.
kind of stuff. We're
It's
left
not like
guessing a lot.
Yeah, it's not like Sondheim with Follies, where it's like very
You can track every edition and how they change things. Yeah.
and what numbers went where.
Yep.
Help me say
Well, after this track now, we get Wandering Child and Bravo Monsieur. So the Phantom is now making himself known again.
From behind her father's grave. It's like, this is just too much.
Yeah.
Musically, though, it's fun.
Musically beautiful. And I love that now we're getting another reprise of Angel of Music, similar to the mirror scene.
Yeah, but with darker undertones.
With darker. And now it's a trio because Raoul has come across, he's followed her to the cemetery.
Yeah.
And I love his additions of the, like, once again, she is his.
Yeah.
Now she comes back. And it's a very different dynamic, even though musically it's in a lot of ways similar to the version earlier.
Yeah.
But in enough ways that are different and meaningfully different.
Yeah, and it's effective for what it is. It's exploring Christine's psyche.
Yeah.
Really, when we haven't cared that much about her
Yeah.
or her well-being. And
Well,
it's like the only time that we really see her out of the opera house.
Yep.
It's the only time that we really see her not in costume.
And it's the only time we're out of the opera house at all is for this scene.
Yeah.
So the mirror version earlier
Yeah.
leads directly into the Phantom of the Opera with that
Yeah.
electric bass dun dun dun. And they're trying to do that again here. The Phantom wants another suck her in and have her completely hypnotized.
Yeah.
But Raoul's like, no.
Angel of darkness, cease this torment.
I am your angel.
Whatever you may believe, this man, this thing is not your father. Let her go, for God's sake. Let her go, Christine!
And then the Phantom keeps throwing the fireballs at him, and the orchestration matches it.
In the score, it actually says fireball.
It's great.
I'm not sure why that needs to be in the orchestration, but I'm here for it.
Cueing, I don't know.
I guess. In the album, the Phantom has these lines of, the Bravo Monsieur, such spirited words, and all these different things. But in the score, it's interesting, I noticed, they are actually notated with the melody of that face which can end me to wallow in blood. It's that melody that is written for those lines. But Michael Crawford's like, no, I'm good. I don't need those.
I like the way that he acts with this, and I like
Yeah.
the voice acting with it, and I think that...
This is actually, I think, some of the best that he does in the show with that.
Yeah.
And I love we're getting the very dramatic music of the...
You can't win her love by making her your prisoner!
I'm here, monsieur, the angel of death. Come on, monsieur, don't stop.
And then we go directly into...
Yeah.
And I understand, like, it makes a good transition on the album, but we do miss a line that I like that is... It is in the movie and the Royal Albert Hall, the Seal My Fate Tonight, that little bit. But I understand it would be very hard to include that on the album.
Yeah.
Because the energy that you stop the song with to then do that quiet bit and then go back up to high energy would be weird.
Yeah.
And you're not going to include the whole book scene to have that break.
No.
So I understand, but it's disappointing.
Because now, correct me if I'm wrong, because it could be out of order, but now in the show they go back into the opera house and they show like the men hiding in the boxes and in the pit orchestra and all of that.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
everybody's getting ready.
Yeah.
You're there. You've got a clear shot of box 5, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, while the orchestra is tuning up. But now we finally get the full coming together of Don Juan triumphant.
Yeah.
And the whole vibe. I'm here for it. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
You can understand how it would be very jarring for people at the time. And it's pretty jarring now for most people who are not used to that kind of music.
Yeah. Especially in the context of the show when the other 2 operas have been, I mean, one was like more grand with lots of, high notes, and the other one is very like funny.
Yeah.
It was like
very, very standard classical opera type scores. And this one's wildly different.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
It almost sounds like Berg. Like it's like, yeah.
A line that I never put together what they're saying is where tables, plans, and maids are laid. I'm like, oh, damn, we snuck that in there.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think that the lyrics are as important in this part. I think it's just like
which is why I never pay
sound.
attention to notice that that's what the lyric is. But then looking at the score as I'm listening, I'm like, oh, that's what they said.
Because it's like dirty.
Yeah, it's very dirty.
And it's gross. And it's fitting for him being all pent up and his rage and his wanting to...
The rapey vibes that we're going to be getting with you're going to trick her into this, like, the creepiness we're about to head into. It's very much in line with that.
Yeah, on top of the creepiness of him being her music teacher and abusing that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have to, I love the chorus with this, with Carlotta singing high notes in the back, where it's just like the soaring high notes. And
because they're largely just sustained on one note, while she is the one that's doing all the gymnastics around. It's fantastic.
And then Christine comes in and is very like, it's almost like bell tones, like jewel, like they're just like little gems with like her like sustained.
Well, because we moved to a very different feel, a very different melody.
And she's almost like in a trance.
Yeah. So she sings her little bit to lead in, and then we go to the next track of The Point of No Return, which is, again, very well done. I don't have a lot to say because it's just very classic. A lot of the language is very poetic. And for the most part, it works for me.
It does. For me, it's like a little much.
Yeah, I'd say not that any one line is too much, but we're having too many metaphors, one right after the other.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because the You Have Come Here section reminds me of the questioning in Turandot when she's doing the Puccini opera. Because the big thing is that the princess needs, for the guy to marry her, he needs to answer 3 riddles. And during the riddles, to me, it sounds like Andrew Lloyd Webber was influenced by that section by Puccini.
I love it.
Asked or thought of if or when, no use resisting, abandon thought and let the dream descend.
I like this song. I don't think it's like the best in the show, but I enjoy it a lot. I think it's a very different...
And it builds very well to the moment that we need it to. One of the lines that always stands out to me, for whatever reason, is...
It's gross.
Yeah, but it's so perfectly...
It is.
Like that is a very well structured metaphor for the song.
Yeah.
But then you're like, what is the metaphor of? Ugh. Like it's that juxtaposition of the beauty of the language with the horror of what it's actually talking about.
Yeah.
Is
the Phantom.
Not easy to do.
No.
Yeah. The Phantom in a nutshell. Another mixing issue that I noticed when the Phantom joins Christine.
Yeah.
Because he killed Piangi and took over the lead role for himself, so now he and Christine are singing. But when he joins her, both of their vocals drop and are way too quiet. can hardly hear them over the orchestra.
Orchestra is so great in this.
Yeah,
I love when
but it's just, that's a weird mixing error.
Yeah.
When most of the album is mixed well.
Yeah, I feel like I love the orchestration when there's the echo of the horns. The horns do an echo, and I just think it's great.
Yes, especially as we build and things get more dramatic.
Yeah.
The orchestra gets fuller because it starts off relatively thin.
Yeah.
And then it just keeps layering and layering until we get the full force of these 61 musicians on this album. And it's so good. And then we go back into All I Ask of You.
Oh,
the Phantom is
he's singing
repeating
their
Raoul's lines back to her.
Yeah, he's singing their love song. Like, that's so gross.
Yeah, but
and he's so pathetic.
And that's it. This is where you realize that all of the horrible stuff he's been doing is because he's so starved for any emotional attention, and he has no clue what's appropriate to get it.
Jealous.
And he really just wants somebody to love him.
Yeah.
And I was like, this isn't the way, right?
I mean, if you want someone to love you, don't murder.
Yeah.
You kidnap.
Yeah. A lot of things that he does that are not exactly good courtship behaviors.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's singing, and I love that she's pretending to be into it, just to rip the mask off in front of everybody.
Yep.
Christine, that's all I ask
of. And he's so embarrassed and he's horrified, so he takes her and escapes through a trapdoor that no one else knew was there somehow.
And this is one of my favorite musical moments, just the chaos following this, with the huge run in the strings and just everyone going off at the same time, and Carlotta just screaming Ubaldo and like sobbing, and everyone else.
Because she finds his body, and yeah, very sad.
And everyone else just finding everything while the strings are just going.
The chaos,
love it.
Yeah, it's so gorgeous.
What is it? What is up? Ubaldo!
Oh my God! My God!
Ruined, Andre! Ruined!
Genevieve, come with me!
Oh my darling, my darling! No! Why did you let me go? Oh my God!
I know where they are!
But can I trust you?
You must!
So as this is all happening, out of the chaos, Madame Giry grabs Raoul because she knows where the lair is.
Yes, she does.
Forgot to mention before.
Yeah.
And she's taking him down, and she mentions the Punjab lasso.
Yeah.
And I don't think they've referred to it as such previously in the show, have they?
Not really. They talk about it as magical.
Yeah, they call it magical lasso, not the
Yeah.
Punjab lasso.
That's from the book.
It's from the book. It makes a lot more sense in that because we also have a character called the Persian in the book that Madame Giry takes over most of that role.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you know the book, that makes sense. But otherwise, you're like, wait, what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
So it's kind of a weird choice.
I mean, that's now they're running. It shows them running around with their hands,
Yep.
by their heads.
So as they're running off, then we cut back to the Phantom and Christine, and we get the last track, Down Once More / Track Down This Murderer.
Well, it's just so great. They're in the boat.
And so he is now very angry, and I wish we got more of that anger coming through from Michael Crawford's voice. This is one thing that I think Gerard Butler did really well in the movie, is you feel that rage.
I also think that the show was still new then. Like, the show has evolved a lot.
That's true.
In the 35 years that it ran on Broadway.
Very, very true, yeah. And I love the section, though.
Why, you ask, was I bound and chained in this cold and dismal place? Not for any mortal sin, but the wickedness of my abhorrent face!
I wish it was faster. Like, later versions go faster.
Yeah.
And it just feels so slow now to have this original be so slow.
Yeah.
It's too bad. And kind of right after that, then, I love expressiveness when you're singing. I think, you don't want to just be rigid. But when you're singing in 7/8 time, you can't add a whole extra beat, so now it's an 8. Like, that kind of defeats the purpose. And he's coming pretty damn close, a lot of those, to making it just a normal measure.
Yeah.
That's a pet peeve I have in general with things in 7/8 that they make sound like they're in 6 or 8. And I'm like, no,
Yeah,
just
the
let it be in
point is
7.
the uncomfortableness of the 7.
Hounded down by everyone, met with... Nope, you can't take that big a breath there.
I agree.
So why, Christine? Why? And then before we cut back to Raoul and Madame Giry, there's this weird sound.
Why?
What is that?
That I don't know.
It's not in the score.
No, I mean, at that point, isn't the whole the whole cast is basically like, there's all the different groups trying to find him, right? There's Madame Giry and there's Raoul, and then there's all of the Phantom Hunters who are from the opera house, led by Meg.
That we're starting to hear now throughout this interchange between Madame Giry and Raoul.
Yeah.
But just that sound effect, it's so silly sounding.
It is.
I don't know who it's supposed to be or what it's supposed to mean, but it's a choice. So Raoul goes off to find the lair, and he's just kind of swimming across the lake, I guess.
Oh, he has that great jump off the bridge.
And he eventually gets down there. And I guess right before he gets down there, we cut back to Christine, who is now in the creepy wedding dress that she found earlier that we didn't talk about.
Yep.
And so she's like,
Have you gorged yourself at last in your lust for blood? Am I now to be free to your lust for flesh?
and his response is kind of a non-response, but he's like, yeah, no one loves me. Can't imagine why.
Yeah.
But then he notices that Raoul has arrived. And so we get the...
Wait. I think, my dear, we have a guest. Sir, this is indeed an unparalleled delight. I had rather hoped that you would come. And now, my wish comes true. You have truly made my night.
And I just love the formality of that, because it's so creepy when we just seen how angry he is to have this calm, super formal tone. You're like, oh, this can't be good.
Yeah, it's like adding rage beneath it. And I love that.
It's very, very effective, I think. So he opens the gate, lets Raoul in.
Yes.
Only to then attack him and basically tie him up. And
because he didn't have his hand at the level of his eyes.
He did not listen to the one thing he was supposed to do.
And she only said it 1,000 times.
Yeah. And now he has some leverage to force Christine to make a decision. It's either me or him. And
But no, not just me or him. It's either you marry me or I kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really emotionally powerful. We're getting into a lot of back and forth between the three characters, which is
Great
fun.
music.
Great
It's
music underneath
great.
it, too.
Start a new life with me. Buy his freedom with your love. Refuse me and you send your lover to his death. This is your choice. This is the point of no return.
And again, this just goes a little slow. It feels so almost silly if you go that slow.
Yeah,
Whereas
especially while
he's
Raoul
angry.
is sitting there, like, clutching his neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wish that moved a little faster, but it's still very effective as they're going back and forth. And then when Sarah Brightman sings,
What tears I might have shed for your dark fate grew cold and turned to tears of hate.
she really cannot sell that line.
No, I agree.
Because she can't get out of that classic, beautiful soprano voice.
No.
Whereas other Christines will add a little bit more, like, hey.
I like the Sierra Boggess version.
Yeah, Sierra Boggess says. I even like Emmy Rossum's version because
Yeah.
you're getting that emotion through it.
Yeah.
But Sarah Brightman just doesn't have that to give.
No, she
And so
doesn't.
that
But
line
I
is
mean, she was
awkward.
the only one of the troupe that wasn't nominated for a Tony for it. So maybe that's why.
Oh, I have a note about that later too.
Okay, good.
And then there's a part here where Steve Barton is so flat.
Rise for hand. No point in fighting.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not good. It's the most out of tune anything that's on this album, I think. And I wins every time. But then I love as we get the three of them singing. I guess it starts with the Phantom and Raoul both singing at Christine. And this is feeling very opera again. Of
is.
They're each having their own conversation with her, kind of.
Yeah.
And the I did it all for you and all for nothing. Like, that is so dramatic.
While the strings are crescendoing up
Yes.
the scale.
And it is just delicious. And then the either way you choose, he has to win, or either way you choose, you cannot win.
Yep.
And they stagger the rhythm slightly so you hear them both so clearly. And I would not expect that level of subtlety from Andrew Lloyd Webber.
No, it's so effective.
Yeah. And then we get the trio then when Christine starts singing at the same time. So they're all doing their own thing.
Which I love.
Yes, very wonderful opera moment.
The point of no return. Christina, I am not a fool.
And then it ends with Christine using the Angel of Music theme back at him. You deceived me, I gave you my mind blindly.
Yep.
And then she has to make her choice. She chooses the compassionate thing and chooses the Phantom to save Raoul's life. And he is so moved by that he lets them both go.
And that's when it gets really heartbreaking because then you see them behind the grate
Yeah.
in the boat singing their love song again, and the Phantom is just torn.
Yeah. And I think this is probably where people feel bad for the Phantom and just remember this last feeling in our Team Phantom instead of Team Raoul.
Was similar to the end of Act
Yeah.
1 where he's like repeating the love song.
Yeah, only this time he doesn't then kill somebody. This time he just disappears.
Yes.
As the mob is closing in on him.
Which is also a great moment.
Yeah.
Just take her and go before it's too late. Go! Go now! Go now and leave me!
It's interesting though that the last moment on stage is Meg.
Well, I think that's interesting, but I also think like it couldn't have been any of the main people, right? And you need
No.
someone that we recognize. But it's not about her. It's
about the mask that
the
he left behind.
stylized, the mask with
Yeah.
the rose, right? So I think that we should talk about that, right? So
That last "You alone can make my heart take flight."
and right when he says that you're alone, it sounds like it's about to transition back into the Phantom's chromatic chord, the bump, 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 where it's evil. But instead it doesn't. It changes and it keeps the beautiful music. And it's like, oh, he's had the change of heart. Again, I'm not defending him. I think he's a monster. But he's had the change of heart and he has all of that. So it's like what they're trying to say maybe is changed for good and that he's seen the error of his
No,
ways.
that's a different musical.
That's true. But I love that, right? When it's like with the tension, it's like holding at the very end, the you alone can make my, like, it's just,
Make my song take flight.
and it keeps with that as opposed to the chromatic evil.
Yeah.
It's over now. The music of the
And then he
Yeah,
disappears. And then we have those last 4 chords while the spotlight goes in. Well, it's
It is.
zoomed in on the rose, just the spotlight
Yeah.
on the mask. With,
And so it is a very dramatic way to end it again.
Mm-hmm.
Like this show just is drama. It is romantic gothic melodrama.
and that's why
And
it appeals to
that's
so
what
many.
works for it. Because I think the genius of Hal Prince to lean into that.
Yeah.
Because if you try to shy away from that, it's going to not go well.
No.
You have to realize what makes this story work is how absurd it is.
Yeah.
You have to
And it's a love
lean
story.
heavily on that. Yeah.
Right?
It's no wonder. So it ran for 13,981 performances at the Majestic Theater,
Yeah.
closing in April of 2023.
Ugh.
The show had 10 Tony nominations, won 7 of them.
That's incredible.
As you said, though, Sarah Brightman not nominated. Makes me chuckle.
It does.
But Hal Prince won Best Musical.
Which he should. And Maria Bjornson won, didn't she? Because I
She
think
won 2.
because the costumes. And
She
the
won for
set.
costumes and for scene design. Yeah, so it lost choreography and
Which
it
I get.
lost score and book, both to Into the Woods.
Yeah.
But Judy Kaye won for featured actress.
Which she should.
Michael Crawford won for lead actor.
Which makes sense too.
Yep. It is hard to argue against the results,
Yeah.
but
It's different.
yeah. Well, should we get to the scoring now?
gosh. Yes.
All right. So, out of
feeling
15 points
pressure.
for music, what are you going to go with?
So I'm going to be honest with you. So the music, I don't think it's perfect, but a lot of it was taken straight from opera. I love the major themes and leitmotifs. I love the way that that's used. And I just think that the orchestrations is just sweeping and the voices are sweeping. I want to give it a good score. I'm going to give it a top score just because this is like criticizing Star Wars or E.T., right?
Which you can do, but
You can, but
so what score are you going with?
15.
All right. I put 14 because it's not perfect, but it's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And the orchestrations alone are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Lyrics out of 15, what are you going to go with?
I think that they're awkward a lot of the time.
Okay.
I think that they're kind of awkward. But at the same time, like, this isn't a snappy, clever show. Like, this isn't a Sondheim. This isn't something like that.
It's not Bill Finn.
No, it's a gothic romance that's operatic. They're fine. I have a hard time giving a number to it, but I sort of want your opinion. Maybe a 10 out of 15.
Okay. I'm going to go with 12 because part of it is just expectations with an Andrew Lloyd Webber show that usually the lyrics are bad and these are a lot better. I think most of them work really well. Most of them scan well. I think they serve the story very well. Are they the most clever? You're not getting the like, haha, oh my God, rhymes like Sondheim or anything like
Yeah,
that.
rhymes in rhymes in rhymes.
Yeah, but that'd be really weird to get that in a show like this.
Yeah, it wouldn't fit.
Because that draws the attention away from what you're supposed to be focusing on. So I think it does what it is supposed to very well.
I agree.
All right, technical performance out of 15.
I'm giving this a top score. I think the singing is legit. They're in character and the orchestra is beautiful.
I did 12.
That's fair.
There are lots of pitch issues here and there. Only a couple of them are major,
Yeah.
but they are throughout.
I mean,
Some
of them-
characters,
Some of them could be character, though. So that's what I was thinking with this. I'm like,
it's not about whether they made the right choice. It's about is the music giving everything it needs to.
that's okay. Yeah.
So, voice acting out of 10.
Okay, so this is tough because I think that some of the main people, so I think half of the main people, right? If we're going to go with the main four, which I'm including Carlotta in that, I think Carlotta and the Phantom are 10s. I think that Christine is not, and I think that Raoul is not, but not as quite as low. So I'm like, did we give this an 8 or a 9? 8 or 9.
Pick one.
8.5.
I have put 6.
Okay.
I think Carlotta is giving it, but she's not a lot of the show.
No.
Phantom, a few places is, but in a lot of places is not. It's very flat from him. Christine almost never, except for in the Notes reprise, where she finally has a personality for the first time.
Yeah.
And Raoul rarely.
Yeah.
Very few of the characters are giving what I want from them.
Mm-hmm.
Only Carlotta.
Yeah.
But I think there's also not a ton of room to do a lot more with a show like this.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't go lower.
Yeah.
But yeah, 6 is where I ended up. For narrative storytelling, how much this feels like a collection of theater songs in the pursuit of telling a story. This is, on the one end, you have a jukebox musical. These literally are pop songs that are dropped in, and the story is built around them.
Yeah.
That is not a theater album. That would be the lowest score. And a 15 is every single song is specific to the story and could not be used in another show.
For the most part, I think that.
Yeah.
So I guess
I think for me, like,
13 out of
All
15,
I Ask
then.
of You could be dropped in a lot of places.
And I think the same with Wishing You Were Somehow Here again.
That could be dropped in a lot of places as well. So there are a few songs that could be, but most of the score is very tied into telling the story.
Yeah.
So I went with 14.
Perfect.
Is it 13?
Yeah.
Then for completeness of the storytelling. So this is, are you getting everything of the show from the album? That includes things that are omitted from the album that we have some examples of. It's, can you follow the story with just the album?
So, I mean, there are cuts, but I don't have super strong feelings with any of the cuts.
Out of 10 points for completeness, what are you going to go with?
I was going to go with 8.
Yeah, I think 8 is good. We get most of it. Actually, I might even go with 9.
That's fair.
Because the things that we don't get are not as important. Like, we can follow the story very clearly through this album. So, for uniqueness, out of 10 points.
So, I mean, this is a relic. It has actual singers who are classically trained, has a full orchestra, plus 80s synth. I mean, come on. Like, this is something special. I, again, feel like this is like rating like Gone with the Wind or Star Wars, because it's like, okay, it is what it is. And I mean, it's also, I feel like our current time period, it's hard to give this one a fair judgment based on the history with it, plus just how iconic the show is.
Yeah,
and
it's
how
definitely
much
more of a challenge for a show like this.
Yeah, so I'm just going to go with 10.
Okay. I put 6. Because there's plenty of rock opera type stuff out there.
Yeah.
There's plenty of 80s synth stuff out there.
Yeah.
You know, this season has Chess Hell.
Yeah.
A lot of the elements are not unique, especially when compared to things like Serafina, the Gospel at Colonus from this season, that are very, very unique.
Yeah.
This, in a lot of ways, is a formulaic musical.
Oh, completely.
That is just done very, very well.
That's fair. I get it.
So, for the audio quality / album construction as a whole, out of 5 points.
I mean, I think that there's a strong balance. I appreciate that it throws the voices when they should be moving around in a different area, and it mixes, for the most part, pretty well with synth, rock, and pop. I think it's a really beautiful album that records sounds in the way that is impressive. I mean, it sounds very sweeping, especially in the operatic numbers when there's a lot going on. I mean, that's something that's very challenging currently to have sound good on a recording, and to me, this sounds pretty good overall. I'm going to go with 4.5.
Okay. I went with 4, just because I've not been doing half points. Just several little things. I had, 2, 3 mixing issues that were fairly minor. Tracks today which were split.
Album. It's a huge album.
Yeah. So very small things, but I couldn't give it a perfect score because of that, so I just took off the 1 point.
That makes sense.
And then for the album artwork, or the album cover, out of 5 points.
I mean, the artwork is iconic. The masks don't match, but we can talk about that if we want to.
I think that's hilarious.
But it's still, I mean, this is a piece of album artwork that's still influencing Broadway artwork today, that things were copying. I mean, Mamma Mia was white because they were trying to get away from the black background with this kind of thing. Like, they've gone on record saying that. So, I mean, this is so iconic, I want to give it a full score.
Yeah, I went with 5 as well. I think it is striking having most of the cover be black and only you're essentially recreating the last image of the show with just the mask, the rose, and a dark stage. So it is choosing an iconic visual moment in the show and representing it very well in an art form that can be put on a cover.
And then later with the font having the broken mirror in it.
I think it sells the show very well.
Yeah.
I think it represents the show very well. You got mystery.
It's marketable.
And the rose gives you, kind of automatically associate that with a love story.
Yep.
So I think it does give you what you need, and hard to ask for anything more.
Yeah.
So that you gave it a score of 90.
I'm okay with that.
And I came out to 81, so our average is 85.5.
I think that's fair. I really do think
Yeah?
that that's like a fair score for it.
Well, this has been a wonderful album, a wonderful time.
Thank you. I'm very honored that you asked me here. Thank you.
I'm so
I
glad that
appreciate
you
it.
were able to do this. If people want to follow you, stalk you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Ooh, everything is private for me. So I guess Instagram, if you're interested in theater, just message me on Instagram. My handle is Mr. Ryan J. Wood.
You can follow the podcast on Instagram at Little Things You Hear Together. You can email me littlethingsyouheartogether@gmail.com. Please subscribe, rate, and review. I've gotten several messages from people, which is absolutely lovely. I love hearing from you, but I would love it also if you'd rate and review the podcast so that other people can find it, because that will help the podcast to reach new audiences. The next episode will be the first of 2 special episodes for the season. This one will be looking at the promotional albums that were never released commercially. That'll be Rosa, Male, and Carrie. So that'll be a fun discussion. Until then, thank you so much for being here, Ryan.
Thank you for having me.